Irene Diamond. I am the founder and creator of successfulmassagetherapist.org, and I help therapists turn their great massage into a fantastic business so they can get more clients, get more referrals, and make more money. Have you ever had the challenge where you know you're a good therapist, you know you get really good results with your clients, but you just don't have enough clients? You can't even get people in your door to get on your table so they can experience your work? Have you ever had the challenge where you know you're a good therapist, but you don't know how to charge for your services? You keep thinking, maybe I need to drop my rate so I can get more people in the door? Or have you ever had the challenge where you have a client, maybe who's already said yes, they want to work with you, but you don't want to be too pushy. You don't want to push them. You don't want to, you're afraid that if you say the wrong thing that it'll come across as being too sort of salesy. If you've had those types of challenges, which I'm sure you have, because all of us in this industry goes through pretty much the same thing, then I want you to know that you're in the right place. I've had those same challenges. Just like you, 23 years ago, starting out, I got out of massage school. Okay, great. I'm a massage therapist. I'm going to have my practice. And then where do I get clients? How do I even figure out how to charge for my services? Do I do sliding scale? Do I charge a low rate because I'm just starting? Do I charge a higher rate because I know that I'm good? I was struggling. I had no idea. And the people in the schools that I went to, the massage schools, didn't really have much advice for me because they themselves were actually not running a full successful practice. I've had the same challenges. I've not known what should I charge for my services. I've not known how to get people in the door. I've not known how to say the right things without sounding like I'm being a used car salesman. So I know those struggles, and luckily over my last 23 years I've figured it out and now have a really great practice and I'm helping therapists. So the challenge is knowing the right ways to say things, knowing how to position yourself as an expert and as an advisor and a counselor versus a sleazy salesperson trying to get people in the door by dropping your prices and yelling, hey, $10 off, because that's not the right way to do it. What I found out is there are some really simple things that therapists can do, and I teach that. You've probably been following some of my educational videos or been a member of successfulmassagetherapist.org, or maybe even see me teaching at some of the national conventions or read about my tips and strategies already in the publications. But I wanted to share with you what I've seen over my years, and when I have therapists who come to me and say, Irene, how do I get clients? How do I get my practice going? There are really three big mistakes. I mean, there's a lot of mistakes that therapists are making that I try to help them change. But here are the three big ones that I just want you to consider as maybe things that you're doing now that if you can just turn it around, just tweak it a little bit, you'll really start to see an improvement in your practice. So the number one mistake I see is that we try to be sort of jack of all trades. So if you are asked, okay, well, who's your population? Who do you like to work with? Most therapists will say, I work with everybody. I work with everybody. So what that means is you're a generalist instead of a specialist. And a generalist doesn't want to turn anybody away, I know, because if you say, well, I only work with runners, then what about the grandma who walks in the door who wants to see you? Or what about the child whose parents said needs a session? You don't want to step on anybody's toes and turn away business. So you're a generalist instead of a specialist. So that's a big mistake. You really need to figure out who you want to target, who you want to specialize in, and that'll really help you tremendously. And that's actually one of the first things that we do in our Mastermind program, in the GEM Mastermind program that I have, is we target, I have a system, a formula that we go through step by step to help you identify who is your dream client. Once you've identified who your preferred client is, who the person is that you love working with, you love working with them, you get great results, they love it, they tell their friends. Once you've identified that, really the rest just all falls into place, because then you know who to market to, you know where to find these clients, you know how to charge your services, you know how to market yourself, how to set up your website. Everything falls into place once you figured out who your dream client is. So that's the biggest mistake I see therapists making, is they're too general. And I understand why. but it really does end up backfiring. Second mistake that I see people making is they don't know how to price their services. And the sort of the gut reaction is, well, if I price it low, then I'll get a lot more people. And that makes sense. We get that. We understand, right? You think if you have a lower price service, you'll be able to have many more people come and see you. But it actually ends up backfiring. And it's a psychological reason why it backfires. It does not position you as the expert. So if you want to be sort of the Walmart or the Targets of the massage industry in your town, that is one way to do it, but it's not the way I advise. So I really want you to start getting really clear on the value that you provide your clients. What are they getting when they come to see you? What are the results? The results that you give. I always advise therapists to think that they're not selling massage. You are not selling massage. You're selling results. So you need to know, what are the results that you're selling? And once you know that, once you figured it out, then you can price your services, because then you know what the client will pay to get the results that you can provide. And so the last mistake that I see people making is that they don't want to be too pushy. Is that you? Do you feel like if you're talking with a client, or maybe a potential client, someone who's not yet come and seen you, you're afraid to say something because you think maybe they're going to feel like you're trying to push them to come in and see you? So that's a big mistake, because if you have a service that you think really helps somebody and they want that service, you're just putting two and two together. You're just connecting the dots for them. So this is something I want you to think about. If you ever feel like you're in a position where you're trying to convince them to come and see you, you're trying to convince them to make the next appointment, you're trying to convince them that it's worthwhile for them to see you twice a week or 3 times a month or whatever it is, if you're convincing them, that's a mistake, because that tells you you have not been able to let them know what the value is that you provide. So did anybody have to convince you to buy, say, for example, an iPhone? No, you knew that all those bells and whistles were something you wanted, so you made a decision to go and buy that. Or did somebody have to convince you to go to the new hot restaurant down the street that everybody's lining up for? No. So the thing is if you feel like you're trying to convince them, then what I want you to start stepping back and looking at is, number one, are you talking to the person who is your dream client? Right? It ties back into that. If you're trying to sell apples to somebody who doesn't like apples, you're never going to get that sale. Second thing is are you able to tell them the results that you provide? Are you really able to let them see how much better off they'll be after they have come and seen you? And the third thing, of course, is your price set properly so the value is there. It's a no-brainer for people to make a decision. If they see the results they're going to get, it's easy for them to make that decision that the price is worthwhile. So those are the 3 mistakes that I see people doing. Remember, you are not in the convincing business. Tell yourself that. So first thing I want you to do right now is to think about who makes you happy. Who's a person that you're already working with, and if you're a brand new therapist, maybe you don't even have a paid client, I want you to think about who in your family or friends that you work on, who do you enjoy working with? Who's that person? And then see what those people that you love working with, see what they have in common. That'll help you start narrowing down who your ideal client is. So that's the first thing I want you to do, is just think about, if you could choose from anybody in the world, any group of people in the world, who would that be? Start thinking about that. That'll really help you with your practice. Now, if you like this information, I've got so much more, and I've got a special program that I want to tell you about. If you're interested in learning more about a program that will help you take your good practice, or your good massage, to a great practice, I would love to have you fill in your name and your email on this page, and then that way I can send you a link to another video where I can share with you what I have to offer. So I hope you found this helpful. I want you to go out and do your homework that I just told you about, so the first thing to do. And again, put in your name and information down below if you would like to hear more about a special offer that I have for you. It's not for everybody, just for therapists who really want to take their practice from a great massage to a great business. All right, again, this is Irene Diamond from successfulmassagetherapist.org. Hope this video was helpful for you. Please share it with your friends and tell other people to come and see it, because I do see, really, if you could just clarify those 3 points that I was talking about, you will